So you're just going to keep shaving some magnesium until you have about the size of a quarter. George Washington would be proud. And then we just strike it up. And that's a 5,400 degree fire, and we drop it in. It lights our tinder, and now we have a
Chris Horrocks with the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation here, and what we're exhibiting here at the show in Portland are some of the products we carry to help you be better prepared and to save money in the outdoors. What we have is a StoveTec Rocket Stove. Now these stoves are manufactured for specifically humanitarian purposes, and the company AfterBURNER Research Center that owns StoveTec, they donate many of these stoves in the overseas markets to help families replace cook fires in the home. We're bringing them to the American sportsman and to the preparedness-minded individual to say, hey guys, we can cook for free too, using just a handful of sticks, and in an emergency we can always find a stick and cook a meal. This is your basic model. It's an economy model. It sells for $82.95, and it's made with steel, cast iron, and clay. So it's everything came from the earth, and it'll last longer than after we're back in the earth, as long as you take care of it. Don't let it rust, and don't drop it, and it'll last you a good long time. The beauty of the stove is it's going to give you 24,000 BTUs of cooking power with just 4 half-inch sticks. And we upgrade to a model which is another one-door model. It also gives you 24,000 BTUs with 4 half-inch sticks. However, this one, in addition to being made of steel, iron, and clay, has a little bit thicker cast iron edge, okay, so it can take more abuse. It has 6 pot supports instead of only 3, and it has a metal refractory liner. Now this is the same stove over here. It's our Door Deluxe, and it has all those upgraded features as well. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these stoves have upgrades here to protect the paint from the heat of the combustion chamber so that your paint doesn't peel from the heat. On the economy model, your paint can peel in the area of the combustion chamber. And finally, the 2-door model, what that allows you to do is to be able to separately control your fuel door from your oxygen door so that you can cook in an unattended simmering mode. And how that works is you burn your sticks down to create a bed of coals. And on those coals, you can cook for another 45 minutes with no additional fuel by closing off the combustion chamber and controlling your oxygen with the bottom door. The bottom line to all these stoves is you're cooking with just a handful of sticks. You're cooking in an emergency or out hunting, camping, and fishing with twigs, sticks, pine cones, whatever fuel you can find in the natural environment. And you're not having to spend money on propane, butane, or charcoal unless you choose to do so. So that's the beauty of the StoveTec Rocket Stove, made by the AfterBURNER Research Center. So people ask, what's the magic behind the rocket stove technology? How does it work? How does it burn that smoke and give me such a clean fire with so much heat with such a small amount of wood? And the answer is in 30 years of experience with the AfterBURNER Research Center in Cottage Grove, Oregon, and StoveTec, which is the manufacturer that they own. They have identified all the right mathematical dimensions and this special ceramic. This ceramic comes from a quarry in only one place on earth. It's already light enough to float in water, then they kill and fire it twice. This entire ceramic core is buoyant in water, and it serves as our insulation to keep the heat concentrated in the center of the stove. And then the dimensions of the stove itself are designed so that it can properly mix the air that's coming into the stove due to natural draft with the hot gases called wood gas and cause it to burn in the chimney. So we're actually burning the smoke from the wood as our fuel, which is why we get 24,000 BTUs with just a handful of sticks. And so bottom line, with these rocket stoves, we're combining the science of physics, thermodynamics, airflow, okay, into a combination with nothing but steel, cast iron, and clay. So there's nothing ever to replace. You have utter reliability, but with a very This comes free design. With every stove you buy from the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation. Okay, and we also have a water pasteurizing kettle. Now this kettle is unique. It's shaped like the hot water heater tank in your hot water at home. And so it has a volcano-shaped tank inside. And if you look carefully, you can tell that this tank is not just a hollow tube, but it actually has a tapered tank which holds 4 liters or just over a gallon. You put that right on top of your rocket stove. It has a hole on top for your water to go into. So you put your gallon in there. It has a spout where you pour your gallon out, okay? And then, this is the really unique thing about it. Boiling water takes a tremendous amount of energy. You actually have to change the state of the matter, okay? So, there's a unit of energy required to go from 32 degree water up to 211 degree water, but guess what? It takes that same amount of energy to cross the threshold to a boil. So you literally double fuel consumption if you want to boil water, which is crazy because science tells us water's safe to drink at only 149 degrees Fahrenheit. And in survival school, of course, we all learned 150 because that's easy to remember. What you want to do is know that this soy wax with red food coloring melts at just 165 degrees. When it melts, it drops to the bottom of the indicator, letting us know our water is safe. Periodically, when I'm heating my water with this device, instead of looking for bubbles, I look for liquid wax. When I see liquid wax, I know my water's safe to drink and I take it off the heat. I put it over somewhere to cool, and I leave the indicator in this position. By doing that, I know that my wax is going to pull back at the top of the indicator while my water cools, and the whole system's reset. But the beauty of it is, I saved 80% of the time and fuel that it would have required to boil that gallon of water in a pot with the skirt. I often get the question, how the heck do I light your rocket stove? Life experience tells most users that lighting one stick is not a very good experience. If you don't have some kind of accelerant or something, lighting one stick, it goes out. In fact, the old Boy Scout motivational talk about you light one stick, it goes out. You light two, it stays lit longer, but it still goes out. When you get three, you probably can maintain a fire, and that's why we're better together. Well, here's the same concept. A fire requires fuel, oxygen, and heat. We've got the fuel and the oxygen. What we're lacking when we're trying to burn one stick is heat. So the whole goal with a rocket stove is you build a bed of embers, and that provides your heat. It keeps everything lit. You can burn just a single stick at a time as you feed it in because of that bed of coals. But how do you get that thing established? It actually takes less than a minute. So let me tell you how that works. You put your fuel right inside the door. On top of that, I'm going to throw some shredded paper, or out in the wild, I'm going to use some dry tinder in the form of leaves, pine needles, or wood shavings. Okay, so I throw a handful of that right on top of those sticks. And then, down through the chimney, I'm going to add sticks and twigs. That's going to build my bed of coals. I then need to light a fire and drop it in. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to use a Strike Master 25,000. That gives me 25,000 strikes, and it has magnesium and a shavable handle. Now, hey, we live in the United States. There's lots of trees. You can find a stick and use a pocket knife, right? But if you had to in a pinch, you could create your tinder right with the handle of your stick. And then you want to build a quarter-sized pile of magnesium. Now, this is only necessary if you're going to be lighting some damp tinder, maybe some moss or something, or hey, maybe it's a little bit windy and you need a little extra heat to help you out. So you're just going to keep shaving some magnesium until you have about the size of a quarter. And then we just strike it up. And that's a 5,400 degree fire, and we drop it in. It lights our tinder, and now we have a fire. In less than 60 seconds, my sticks are going to be burning. And why is that? Because these sticks, ladies and gentlemen, we used to call this kindling. We used to get these just to start our fire. Now they're our primary cooking fuel. So they're easy to light, easy to keep lit. Now, the rocket stove, because of the tinder we put in and the kindling we put in the chimney, has a bed of coals. These sticks will remain lit, and you just keep feeding them in. If they go out, you didn't start with enough fuel, so just do it again. You only wasted 60 seconds. You just made a mess of your rocket stove. It's easy to wipe off, ladies and gentlemen. You just get a paper towel and water, or a little isopropyl alcohol, and your rocket stove is as good as new. These things are easy to use. They're extremely cheap to operate, like free. And all you have to do is have a reliable fire starter and nature. And you're able to cook food and sanitize water for your family regardless of the circumstances. And the question on everybody's mind is, where the heck do I buy these things? And what you want to do is go to AfterBURNERStoves.com, and you're going to shop in the online shopping center there and get your stoves and use the coupon code SAVE SAVE, S-A-V-E, for an extra 10% off, which is a great savings. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation. This corporation was founded by a group of families that want to be able to be better prepared and want to be able to save people money when they're camping in the outdoors. And so you're cooking for free and you're prepared because you can always find a stick to cook a hot meal or sanitize some water. But we offer some things that nobody else offers in this industry. We have a 100% money back guarantee, so you're secure shopping with us. We offer a 90-day bumper-to-bumper warranty, and the thing is made out of steel, iron, and clay, so once you know it works, it's going to last a very long time. But we also offer a lifetime replacement plan that you can purchase that covers even accidents. You can actually get from the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation, actually when you buy all the products from the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation, we already cover you with a special replacement plan. Here's how it works. You buy a stove, you're in our database, we know you as a customer, and guess what we do for you? If you ever accidentally damage your stove or it just wears out and you want a replacement, you get the replacement at $50 off for the rest of your life. Just buy replacement stoves at $50 discount. Can we lose money? Sure we could, but the stoves are so reliable it never happens. But we want you to feel assured that your product is backed up with the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation. There's also a lot of great accessories that come with the stoves. So we have this pot skirt. What this does is it goes around your pot and you put your pot inside of it, not on top of it. So as with this photograph, the stove is beneath the pot is on top, and the pot skirt is wrapped around it, and it's adjustable for different size cookware. The advantage to that is that you're forcing the hot gases from cooking to go up around the walls of the pot, not just across the bottom. And this creates a more efficient cooking environment where you're saving time and fuel. It also blocks the wind from going underneath your pot. People often ask, how the heck do I cook on these things? And the answer is, use your fry pan, use your pressure cooker, your double boiler, your pots, pans, dogs and cats living. Wait a second, that was Ghostbusters. No, you use any cookware you would use at home, but steer clear of things that can't take a direct heat, like glass or Teflon, because those are going to be damaged potentially if they're empty, okay? But here's an example of something you could make. Instead of cooking over the really hot fire just in the middle, if I put a grill over this, I could put rock between two grills and wire them together, and then that's going to distribute my flame over a larger area. By distributing my flame around a larger area, I can cook on here without cremating the meat in the middle and leaving that raw ring around the outside. This is just something you make with a couple pieces you buy at the hardware store and some lava rock from the gardening store. That's a simple tool. But the great accessory that we offer here with the Rocket Stove to carry your stove to and from your event is this Oregon-made product made right here in America, and it's not just to carry your stove, although it does a great job of that, and your stove can go in it hot after just 15 minutes of cooling down. But in addition to carrying your stove and your fire starting materials and tinder in the pouch, it serves as a thermal cooker. So I can get a pot of food hot, insert it in my bag, seal it up, and keep it warm to continue cooking under its own heat. The other use I can do in that same vein is that I can cook my first course on my single burner, keep it hot in the bag while I cook my second or third or fourth course, and then serve the entire meal hot, even though I only had one burner to work with. That's what this bag offers, in addition to doubling as an emergency water carrier and an ice chest. So that is a great accessory to go with your stove, and again, it's available at the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation at AfterBurnerStoves. And this retails for $65.95, but again, you're going to want to use the discount code SAVE, S-A-V-E, to get another 10% off. Another question I get quite commonly about the Rocket Stoves is, hey, how long do those sticks last? You're sitting there shoving them in. As they burn down, they're going to vanish, aren't they? Well, that's because our life experience is about campfires, and in a big old campfire, we throw these sticks in and they're gone in short order. But what we don't realize is when we're burning the smoke that's coming out of the wood as our fuel, we're getting a lot more heat with a lot less wood, and they actually don't burn all that fast. So what we do is we're feeding them into the combustion chamber, and guess what, guys? 18-inch long, half-inch diameter sticks is 20 minutes of fuel. 1 is low, 2 is medium, 3 is medium high, and 4 is high. I have total control over the heat of my fire by controlling how many sticks I'm using on that bed of coals I built. And 20 minutes of fuel for every 1.5 foot of stick is pretty impressive. A handful of sticks will cook a complete meal. The AfterBURNER Stove Corporation, like a lot of Americans, we're concerned about how global competition is robbing America of its jobs and its economy. And we're proud to say that when you buy our products from the AfterBURNER Stove Corporation, 85% of the money stays right here in the northwestern United States, creating jobs and supporting American families. So you can feel confident making your purchase and supporting the Oregonians and the Idahoans that are working to bring you these fantastic products. Thanks so much.